We're just ordinary people living ordinary lives until we see someone on TV win a $25,000 prize. Come on down. I'll play any game for 10 seconds of fame. Come on down. I'll make a deal, just let me spin the wheel. Come on down. To win $1 million, all you need is a little luck and thorough knowledge of multiple disparate trivial subjects.
All right, welcome to an all-new episode of Come On Down, the Game Show podcast.
Brought to you by my new home and our green-blue walls.
I'd say it's more green than blue.
I would say it's more teal than blue.
Yeah, sure, I guess. I'd just say more green than blue in general, I guess.
Right, almost kind of matches your shirt.
A little bit. My shirt's slightly lighter, I guess.
Are we going to have a teal screen situation where we can't see your body because it's blending into the wall?
I think we're just going to see my head floating.
Yeah.
Which is honestly a goal of mine, is just to be a head floating.
Disembodied head?
Yeah.
Right. Like some sort of a Scooby-Doo cartoon?
Yeah, or like, remember that guy in the Ninja Turtles who was just
Shredder?
Like... No, I do like Shredder. I think Krang. He was just like a brain inside of a chest cavity.
Yes.
I kind of just want to be that.
Yeah, right. Or similar to MODOK.
MODOK, now on Hulu. Check it out with your subscription. Sign up for a 7-day free trial at hulu.com.
Is that our sponsor?
It could be.
I wish. Think about if our first real sponsor was Hulu.
Hulu? A Disney company.
Remember when Hulu was free and you got addicted to it and then they were like, psych, it costs money now.
Yeah, but it was there was all sorts of ads then. I guess even now
you have
with
something
ads, you have to
against
pay.
ads? We have ads on our show.
We have ads? Oh, ads.
Ads.
Yeah. In 1969 was the premiere of a little game show called Sale of the Century. What a segue that was.
That was really good.
Yeah. The Summer of 69, also known as
The
Summer
Sale of 69. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Both, yeah.
Right.
This show, Sale of the Century, is a show that I've never seen before. How about you?
Never seen it because I was busy not existing.
Okay.
And then even in the 80s revival,
When you
I
did
was
exist.
busy just generally surviving, being a baby.
Yeah. Breastfeeding. Were you were breastfeeding other people?
Correct.
As a baby?
Yeah, because everybody knows that mammals, upon being born, develop the mammary glands, male or female,
Okay.
to give milk to others.
Wow.
And animals as well.
Oh, to
You know what's
animals?
weird? That like
chipmunks?
we drink cow milk?
Right.
Well, I think it's weird that cows drink female milk.
Human milk?
Human milk.
Do they?
I've seen videos on the internet of it
Okay.
happening.
Yeah, well, then I don't know what more proof we need.
Exactly.
Sale of the Century, stylized with a $sign as an S.
Oh, it wasn't a cent for the C?
No.
Okay.
Lame.
Or like the European double line through the C? Euro?
Oh, yeah. No. This is America.
So get the fuck out.
Build a wall. So it premiered on NBC in 1969, aired there through 1973. It was hosted by an actor by the name of Jack Kelly.
Strong name. That's a 60s
Jack
name for
Kelly.
sure.
He sounds like an Irish mobster a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jack Kelly's crew. I don't know. I had to do a Boston accent for it because, I mean, where's an Irish mobster
Close enough.
gonna be otherwise? But Jack Kelly, he was an actor. He was most famously known for being on the television show Maverick.
Okay.
That was a Western.
But he wasn't a Western person.
Like he
didn't come from the West.
He didn't come from the... I mean, he came from the West in the fact that he was a Caucasian. Like, you know, the East, where they practice Eastern medicine and Eastern arts.
Right.
He wasn't from there.
Okay.
He was from the West. He wasn't from the Western United States, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Jack Kelly was on Maverick. Maverick was a Western TV show starring James Garner. Dead. It's the thing I know most about James Garner. You know James Garner from The Notebook, for example. The old guy.
Oh.
Also, the guy who goes, "This is Oklahoma football" at the beginning of all the OU games.
Was this the same guy that was the old man in The Notebook?
Right, yeah, that's what I said.
He was the old man.
Yeah.
That was not Ryan Gosling.
No, it wasn't. I know that can be confusing.
I mean, I thought makeup effects were to the point where we could just put an old
Not in 2003.
wrinkle.
Not then. 2005, they could have done it.
It's a 2-year difference.
So James Garner was he played Maverick. I don't know. His name was like Bo Maverick or something like that. I don't know. And there were 8 episodes of this show, and then they introduced Jack Kelly as playing his brother. And then they did a really weird thing where just every other episode would have one of them in it. And they'd each be doing their own little Western things, but each alternating episode focused on one of them. So that was weird. But
were there 2 different storylines?
Yeah. Well, I think it was mostly not. What's the opposite of serial? Like
Limited?
No, like where each episode is kind of self-contained.
Porridge.
Porridge? Oh, I get. Yeah, bad joke. Like Law and Order is procedural.
Okay,
That's the word I'm thinking of. Where there's a case of the day, a Western bad guy of the day.
Ooh.
And they just alternated episodes, and every once in a while there would be a episode with both of them, and it's like, whoa, holy shit!
And that was a special.
That was
episode.
very special. And then after a couple years, James Garner went away and then got replaced.
To the grave?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he's dead now.
Eventually,
as we clarified earlier.
Yeah.
But they brought in some other like cousins and shit like that to do again more alternate episodes with, because it was a weird show where they did that. But Jack Kelly hosted from 1969 to 71, and then he decided, you know what? I'm not done with acting yet. I like this hosting thing, but I'm not done with acting yet. I'm going to go back to acting. I'm going to leave this show. And then, according to IMDb, he never did anything of significant note. He appeared in several one-off episodes of television series after this.
Okay.
He appeared in 11 episodes of another TV show at one point in time. 0 movies. That was it. He left this show to be a fucking one-off guest star, the dead body on Law and Order, basically.
Well, you already have a platform with your game show. Just start doing Shakespearean soliloquies as the introductions to the game show.
You know what? That's a good idea.
You've got a built-in audience. Just start doing acting.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Whether 'tis nobler... I don't know the rest of the words after.
I think that was right. Whether 'tis nobler to be or not
suffer
to be.
the slings and arrows, something. You guys get it.
Doth has got to be in there somewhere, right?
I'm sure. Any other Denmark words we can think of? that was where Hamlet's from, right? So he was replaced by a guy named Joe Garagiola. And Joe Garagiola...
That is a gangster name, for sure. He was in the
Joe
Italian
Garagiola?
mafia.
He was a catcher.
For the mafia?
For the St. Louis Cardinals.
Basically the mafia.
1946 World Series. He was a former baseball player. A catcher, Joe Garagiola, who transitioned into TV. He was a co-host of the Today Show. Kind of went the Michael Strahan route, but not being as good at his sport as Michael Strahan.
So he separated his 2 front teeth?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then, he did an April Fool's joke where he separated his 2 front teeth because everybody really liked his straight teeth. It was kind of his signature thing. Like, oh, Joe Garagiola, he's got straight teeth. Everybody knew him as the guy with straight teeth.
Right.
And so he did an April Fool's joke where he got a gap. to be more like everybody else who had a gap in their teeth. But it was just an April Fool's. So he hosted it after that. The way the show worked was, it kind of reminded me of a little bit of, like, we talked about how originally, or at some point on, I think, Wheel of Fortune, there was like a shopping segment in the middle of it. It kind of reminds me of that, kind of combined with Let's Make a Deal a little bit.
A lot of Let's Make a Deal DNA flowing through this show.
Yeah, for sure. And the way it worked was everybody started with $1, like $20 or $25. All of the contestants. Yes, US dollars, not the C with the 2 lines through it.
No.
Thing. And there were trivia questions that were asked. You could buzz in. If you got the question correct, you got $5 added to your total.
Snooze fest.
If you missed it, you lost $5 from your total.
Now we're talking.
And nobody else got a chance to answer it. It was just, the question was eliminated at that point. Yeah, $5 seems like a fairly insignificant dollar amount.
But
to be winning.
Wait, there's more.
But the catch is, things don't cost as much on Sale of the Century because they're on sale, you might say.
Of the century.
Of the century. So at 3 points throughout the show, in this original version, at 3 kind of random points throughout the show, there was a shopping round. And what would happen, again, in the 69 through 73 version on NBC that was syndicated for another year through 74, there would be a shopping round, and they would say, on sale right now for $5 is, and then there would be a curtain that would reveal a prize.
A pretty dope prize, usually.
Usually worth more than $5. Usually worth more than $100.
Yeah.
And the contestants could choose by hitting their buzzer that I want this thing and I'm willing to pay $5 for it.
Going once, going twice.
Sold. So if you said, yes, I want to do this, you would lose your $5 or whatever it cost in order to obtain the prize. So you probably, you if you're in the lead, you might lose the lead. You might fall further back from the leader, etc. But you're guaranteed to now take home a Nordic track or something.
I mean, I saw a cool stereo system that looked like something I would want nowadays from Denmark.
I know the exact episode that you watched.
Did you ever see anybody not take the prize?
Yeah, sometimes they would. So in the original version, the 69 to 74, any of the 3 contestants could buzz in and take the prize, and the first person who buzzed in got it. In the revival that aired from 83 to 89, only the leading scorer at the time could decide whether they wanted to take the deal or not. Neither of the other people could take it. So in the first one, people were like tripping over each other to buzz in. In the 80s version, it was not... You made me yawn.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
not
yawning so much.
Uncommon for people to turn it down if they didn't necessarily want the prize. The episode that I'm sure you watched, there was one woman in the lead all 3 times.
Yes.
It went to this, and she took all 3 prizes
and left with like
over $5,000 in prizes. And she didn't even win.
We're talking $5,000 $80s.
That's like Jeff Bezos, basically.
Well, I don't know. Maybe 1880s would be Jeff Bezos.
You think Jeff Bezos had more than $5,000 in the 80s? Doubt it.
Still in debt. Still in debt, baby.
He was born in 1964, Jeff Bezos. So he was only like 20.
If you could go back in time,
yes,
and see Jeff Bezos, what would you say to him? The only person you could see was Jeff Bezos. What do you do and what do you say?
When?
In 1986.
Keep
in mind you are not born yet.
Okay, so here's what I would do.
You have to direct. So you're inside your mom, and you can tug on her intestines, and that makes her like move like.
But
a
then
puppet.
I'm not traveling back in time. I'm just like
So you're given the knowledge
being
of...
a fetus. Okay.
You're given the knowledge. I mean, now from today, you would have to be traveling back in time. You would
Okay.
still be...
But I would still be a fetus.
Yes. But you could direct your mom like a puppet inside with her intestines.
Okay. So what I would do was I would puppet my mom to tell Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
like,
First of all, you should puppet your mom to divorce your dad and then do a sort of a
Okay,
honeypot situation and get Jeff Bezos in love with your mom.
so that's one possibility. My other thought is to tell Jeff Bezos about 9/11 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
To see if he had any better ideas for how to do terrorism.
Better ideas than
Only-
9/11.
Well, they only got like 3,000 people.
It's one of the most
than
successful
that.
terrorist attacks in American
Wow,
history.
success. You think 9/11 was a success is what you're saying. You think it was a great job. Great job, terrorists.
In the eyes of a
success.
terrorist, it was very successful.
In your eyes is what you mean.
I'm not a terrorist.
Okay. So we're so far away from each other now.
I know.
I can't even touch you.
But I can definitely see your eyes better.
I guess. Yeah.
Your
'Cause we're
dark,
across from
sharp
each other.
black
We're doing
eyes.
we're doing like a crosstalk thing. I would tell Jeff Bezos like about 9/11 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I would tell him that he should start an online bookstore. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would tell him, in 2009, there's going to be a college graduate named John Baker who's really good and smart, and you should like hire him to a very high up executive role.
Okay.
And so I think after he starts an online bookstore and it becomes very successful, and then 9/11 happens, he'll know like, oh, I should probably do this thing because that's going to lead me to the most success possible.
So you just need a important date to tell him to show that you have some sort of
Knowledge of the future.
omniscient
Yeah.
knowledge, and you chose 9/11.
I couldn't remember anything else that's happened.
Not like Obama.
That's not that significant.
Well, I guess also you have to tell him something that's way in the past so he knows it before.
Yeah, I guess Amazon already existed before 9/11. So maybe I would tell him about that time that Dan Quayle spelled potato wrong.
And then everybody was like, not my president.
Not my vice president, I guess.
Not my vice president.
Yeah, that's the most significant thing before 9/11 was when Dan Quayle spelled potato incorrectly.
Right. Yeah.
So I would probably go with that.
Okay.
Or I would tell him about Michael Jordan's dad getting murdered in a car
Sure.
in a parking lot.
Or maybe Y2K is not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't stress. So why were we talking about time
I don't know,
travel?
but good luck segmenting back into Sale of the Century.
Speaking of
Do you need to-
bookstores,
Yeah.
the show came back in 1983. Why do I not have a voice anymore? The show returned in 1980. Oh, so let me tell you a little bit about it. The in between 1974 and 1983
Sure.
of Sale of the Century. There's an Australian guy.
Mm-hmm. Good day.
G'day, mate. And his name was Reg Grundy, which just sounds like a real Australian name.
Reg Grundy.
Reg Grundy.
Grundy. Crocodile Grundy.
Exactly. So Reg Grundy, he liked this show. So after NBC canceled it, he purchased the rights to Sale of the Century.
Okay.
And then in 1980, he made an Australian version of Sale of the Century. He changed up a couple things. In the original version on NBC from 69 to 73, the end of the show, the winner would go to like a bonus round where there were like 5 questions for $20 each. So they could get up to $100.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the show, there was the final sale where you would be offered a prize
For your soul.
No, I think that was a different show.
Oh, okay.
But we'll do an episode on that.
Okay.
Where you were offered a prize for the amount that you won on the show. And so if you won $100, the Sale of the Century would be for $100, you could get this Motorola cellular phone in a briefcase
Right.
with 2 chicks in a gold bikini.
Those come with
showing it off.
Those come with the prize.
They better. And for a value of $3,000, yours for just $100. So you could take that deal. Or they would show you other prizes that would say, for $200, you can get this trip to the Swiss Alps. Or for $500, you can get this Harley Davidson motorcycle. Or for $700, you can get this Mercedes.
Dang.
Great sale. But the catch was, you either had to take the Motorola cellular phone in a briefcase for your $100 that you had right now, or you take nothing and say, I'm going to come back and play again tomorrow and hope to win again to get your dollar amount up to afford one of these better prizes when you win again.
No.
I tend to actually agree with you on this one. And I'm, we had a big fist fight over Cash Cab where you were a little pussy about not going for the double or nothing.
Nope.
On this one, it seems like a good amount to win in an episode is about $100. And
especially if you've locked in some prizes along the way.
Right. And winning about $100, you'd have to win 6 times, 7 times in a row just to get to that top prize. The odds of it are incredibly unlikely.
But your philosophy of go big or go home has now been crushed to the ground because you are now saying that
I'm just saying
go home is now the best thing to do.
I'm saying look at the odds.
You're saying that your philosophy on life is on a situational basis. So is it truly a philosophy if you are not following it 100% of the time?
So you think that my philosophy is always say no to everything and hold out for something better?
Yes.
I don't think that's my philosophy.
Well, it kind of sounds like go big or go home is.
So here's the thing: Cash Cab
is what you hang your belt up
Cash
at
Cab,
night.
I go big or go home. I either get double my money, or I get $0 and a free cab ride, which I was not expecting to get a free cab ride in the first place.
Also, keep in mind
on a
that
50-50, I get it right or wrong, 50-50. On this show, I can get one prize, or come back for probably 5 or 6 more episodes, and I only have a 1/3 chance of winning each of those.
Right.
So, I don't know, what's 1/3 times itself 5 times?
So, it's not really a philosophy.
It's like 1/300th chance or something.
It's not really a philosophy if you're not following it 100% of the time.
You're right. It's not a philosophy then. I never
not
said
a
it was a
life
philosophy. I
philosophy.
just said you're a pussy.
So you want to go home.
Right now? Yeah, I'm kind of sick of dealing with you.
It's so unfortunate.
So that's the way the show works. So Reg, our boy Reg, it's probably short for Reginald,
Grundy.
I'm going to assume. Reg Grundy, he bought the show in 1980. He made a couple changes in Australia because, everything's upside down there. So he, first of all, they eliminated the bonus round at the end. Now just whoever has the most bucks wins. And that's it. You go to the final sale at that point. But also introduced the Fame game.
Flame game?
Fame game.
Okay.
In the Fame game, it's basically everybody is playing. They start listing facts about a celebrity. And you buzz in when you think you know who this celebrity is. And if you are the first to buzz in and you are correct, there was like 9 faces of celebrities on the board. You chose one, and then there was a prize behind it, and you got that. So it might be $5, which would just be the same as answering a regular question. But it might also be $25, which is the same as answering 5 regular questions. So that's a big old leg up for you there in terms of catching up and moving ahead in this game. And they also introduced a 60-second speed round at the end of the game, where it was just you might call it a lightning round if we did it on this show.
Yep.
Where there were 60 seconds and they just rapid fired questions and people were buzzing in as fast as they could. No interruptions. try to build up that cash and see who wins.
Whoa.
So those were kind of the changes instituted there. And then the instant bargains now were only for the leader instead of it being kind of an open auction, I guess, basically.
Sort of a chaotic grab.
Yes. No longer a chaotic grab.
Okay.
Now more of a controlled, going once, going twice. You're the only person deciding whether to do it or not.
Just a yes or no would
Yes,
be great.
yeah, exactly. So, and then what Reg Grundy did was he took this show with his little changes,
Mm-hmm.
and he went to NBC back in the US, and he was like, hey, I've got this great game show format. Do you guys want to buy the rights to do it in the US?
Mm-hmm.
And they fucking did.
So he swindled them.
He did the sale of the century.
Wow.
He bought the rights to this game show, changed up a couple little things, and then just sold it back to him.
Wow.
The same show that they made up.
I feel like that is just sales in general. Just repackaging something and selling it to somebody who doesn't realize it's been repackaged.
Is that your philosophy on life? That's your philosophy?
Absolutely.
That's your big philosophy?
I constantly am repackaging things that I buy at Best Buy and then
Cheerios.
taking it back and saying, would you like to buy this? And they're like, no, this is our product.
No,
we
that
sold
doesn't
to you.
work very often.
And I say, but it's my philosophy. And they think
They have to go for it at that
Yeah.
point once they learn that it's your philosophy.
mm-hmm.
So in 1983, this came back on the air on NBC, hosted by Jim Perry, who we previously knew from Card Sharks.
Ooh.
He was the Card Sharks host. He did a great job there. Did a pretty solid job here on Sale of the Century, $ Ale of the Century. And they just adopted the Australian changes, basically. And it was the same show, more or
And
less.
they made everybody learn an Australian accent. And everybody
all of the contestants had to say,
everybody-
"G'day."
Everybody had to start each sentence with "G'day."
G'day. If it was kind of like a Jeopardy rule type thing, you have to answer in the form of a g'day.
Yeah.
G'day, mate.
G'day.
John Voight.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, those are the only two actors I know.
Yeah,
I
same.
don't
From
think I
that
can- yeah.
period. John Wayne.
Gene Hackman. Good one, right?
Angelina Jolie's father.
John Voight. I already said that, yeah. So that was Sale of the Century. I mean, it went off the air in 89 in the US. It continued until 2009 in Australia. The entire time, never stopped.
Australia is the opposite of Europe in that they drag things out until
It's not just 6 episodes ever.
nobody's
and then
watching anymore.
Yeah. So I believe it had a couple of years ago in Australia another attempted revival with a different name. And when it got to 2000, they changed it to Sale of the New Century. I thought they thought that would be. I think they thought that would be really clever.
Yeah.
And I don't think people.
Can you think of a better name though?
No, I guess I can't. I guess they won. They were right.
Sale of the
Millennium.
Yeah.
Sale of the Willennium, and it's hosted by Will Smith.
In Australia?
I'm going to Australia. Welcome to Australia. Party in the country where the heat is on.
Well, where's
where they
the
don't
Viva-
have COVID because they're on an island.
Viva la Mex. What do they say?
What?
Viva la Havana. What do they say?
Oh,
in
Bienvenido, Ami Ami. Is
Okay.
What they say.
well, how do you say that in Australia?
Good day to Australia.
Good day to Australia.
Yeah.
You're welcoming. You're saying good morning to the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good day to Australia. Put shrimp on the barbie.
Kind
What
of
do you
lost
think?
the accent at the end there, but
Yeah,
the words.
it's hard to sing and do an Australian accent because even Australian people don't sing with an Australian accent. And British people too. They sing with an American accent. Why?
Is that your philosophy?
That's not a philosophy. That's a fact.
Both start with PH.
No, I don't think so. Think about Adele, Adele doesn't sound British.
Just in general, think about her?
Yeah, well, I think about her a lot. I think about how she got skinny shamed a lot.
Because she lost weight?
Yeah, she lost weight and she like posted a picture on Instagram about how she was like proud of her weight loss. And then a bunch of fat people who are generally bitter because they're fat, they got really mad. How dare she be proud to lose weight? Because there's nothing wrong with being fat, aside from all the health complications, the shorter expected lifespan,
The mental health.
the mental health problems, the bigger drain on our resources as a society. Aside from that, though, nothing.
Pretty cool to be fat.
As somebody who's gotten very fatter than I've ever been over the last year, it's not that cool. I'm trying to stop.
It's not that awesome.
I'm trying to stop.
Because at this point, your body's just like, good luck getting rid of this.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm going to start running. And they're like, good luck with your knees.
Yeah. No.
And you're like,
You're
well,
dead.
okay, I'm going to just start eating better. And then, it's like, good luck not ordering a cheeseburger.
No.
And
yeah.
this person next to you that keeps saying good luck to you, you're like, leave me alone.
It's Adele is the weird part.
Trust me, you don't want to get skinnier. And be
She
a
goes,
pop
thank
star."
you. Thank you.
But
yeah.
how does she sing thank you?
Thank you.
For being a friend.
And then she goes, thank you. Hello. Good day. It's me. That's the Australian.
I thought it was good
edit
day
of
to
that
Australia. It's me.
Yeah. Yeah, so Reg Grundy really crushed it there. That the real sale of the century was Reg Grundy's work.
You know how in Wolf of Wall Street, Leo says, "Sell me this pen." Well, that's Reg Grundy, but he just pulls out a TV and he puts it down and plugs it in and starts a tape of his show, and he goes, "Sell me this show." And they can't because he's already sold his own show.
He already bought it from them and sold it back
and
to
resold,
them.
yeah.
And then he bought it back from them for another lower price.
Right. And then he pushes cocaine into his wife's butthole.
Wow.
Happened in the movie. Can't make that up.
That's true. So yeah, the way it worked was like normally the rights to a TV show sell for like $3 million, something like that. But for him, it was actually just $10 on the sale of the century.
He sale of the century'd himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that meeting, that negotiation was, good day, mate. I have made this amazing show.
He showed up in a budgie smuggler. Are you familiar with that term?
A budgie smuggler.
A budgie smuggler.
I'm assuming that is something very normal, but has a very strange name in Australia. Was it a bow tie?
You're close in general.
A bolo.
I would say no. It's not a neck.
A noose.
It's not a neck. Nope. Well, I'll tell you that a budgie is a type of bird.
And then you're smuggling the bird into somewhere?
Right. So what do you think a budgie smuggler is?
I'm assuming it's a deep pocket.
No, it's a Speedo.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that.
Yeah, it's a Speedo. They call it a budgie smuggler. And that's just like, and that's not like a funny, like, haha term that people, this is literally what they call it.
It's like how they say Vegemite, and if you were to translate that, it would just be dog food.
Whoa, that is a hot sports opinion there.
I mean, look, I've seen people try it for the first time, and I've seen their faces, and I make my own judgments.
So you've not tried it?
Why would I try dog food?
Because it's not. It's like some vegetable paste.
Sounds like what you feed a dog.
Okay, fair enough. I fed my dog some brisket last night. He liked it.
I haven't fed Bo any human food.
Really?
I'm going to do it for as long as I can.
Why? Because you don't love him that much?
I just don't want to deal with dog diarrhea.
Yeah, there was something Erica gave Boomer one time that, and I don't know for sure if that's the reason that he had massive diarrhea for the entire next day.
I better know what it was.
What?
Vegemite.
It was, holy shit. How did you How did you know?
So Vegemite in my brain is dog food that gives your dog diarrhea.
So it's bad. It's not even good for your dog.
So it's like
food.
Epicac, but for your butt.
Epicat?
Yeah, that's stuff that you take that makes you throw up immediately.
I'm not familiar with that. I guess I'm not bulimic like you.
Well, maybe I can show you some things to help you lose that weight.
Thank you. We're not promoting eating disorders because that's unhealthy. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be clear that if I'm saying that being overweight or obese is unhealthy,
there's the
being
opposite
underweight
side.
is also unhealthy.
There's an opposite side of the spectrum.
I'm not being biased, prejudiced. That's the word, against one side or the other. I just want everybody to be healthy and happy.
Right.
Except for like Bin Laden.
You don't want him to be healthy.
No. I want him to be dead.
And that's your philosophy.
Yeah. My philosophy is I want Bin Laden to be dead. And I don't care how controversial of an opinion that is. I just want him to be dead. And I feel bad for whatever like mannequin Obama threw over a ship into the ocean so that he could get reelected and tell people that he killed Bin Laden.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Bin Laden is out there on a Peloton somewhere, healthy as fuck.
Just cycling away.
Just cycling. He was probably the first person to get the COVID vaccine. He's healthy.
He made it.
He COVID or the vaccine?
Both.
Wow.
And he sold it.
See,
he sold the vaccine to America.
That's the play right there. I wouldn't listen. The way these fucking big pharma works, I wouldn't be surprised if COVID was invented by Johnson & Johnson themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Todd Johnson and Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson and Todd Johnson.
Former quarterback in the NFL. I don't see any proof that didn't happen.
And that means that it probably did.
Based on what I've learned on the internet, that's how the burden of proof works.
Proof equals causation.
Like the whole UFO thing that's been going on recently.
Yeah.
Or UAPs is what we say now. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
So they changed it from flying object to phenomena?
Yeah. Well, I think the government, in all their wisdom, has... What is this? Oh, we've got a book here called UFOs and the National Security State, Chronology of a Cover-Up, 1941 to 1973. So this is a thick book that you've read.
It's because there's a lot of aliens. A lot of aliens. Well, let me see. Yeah, but that's all you need to read to understand.
Yeah,
that
clarifies it. So a couple weeks ago, what page number is that you're on right now?
2.
Is that true? So you read the foreword, end of the first page.
Well, hold on. It says sources and documentation. I felt that was an important thing to read.
Right.
Possible dimensions of the UFO problem.
Possible dementia.
Okay. Scientific questions. I mean, this is all a very important foreword. Okay. That I'm not sure if I read that part.
I think I skipped to page 1, actually. I thought the foreword was a waste of time. And then after a page, I pretty much had the gist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had it figured out.
The problem of UFOs. I mean, they're
among us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the UFO thing recently, where the government released some classified video, I guess, from some pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yeah, here are some unidentified aerial phenomena that we've experienced.
Is it phenomena or phenomena?
Phenomena.
Okay.
And people kind of ran with that and were like, the government said they're here. The UFOs are here. The aliens are here.
Mm-hmm.
When again, really all that means is they saw something and they were like, huh, what's that? That's what it means. And people are like, well, if this trained pilot saw something going 550,000 miles per hour, why wouldn't you believe him? And it's like the answer can never, for some reason, be like, yeah, he saw that wrong, or he thought he saw something that he didn't. Like, things that all of us experience all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, if you're a trained pilot or something, you can't like misunderstand or misinterpret something that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It must mean that somehow aliens come to Earth just to fuck with us by flying around in weird patterns and then go away.
Yeah, it's called psychological warfare. And we do it as well.
Shit, it's working very well. This is like when you play Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You on repeat in like a terrorist's prison cell on Guantanamo.
Oh, I was going to say like in a crate and barrel.
Oh.
And that makes you want to buy stuff to get out quicker.
They invented psychological warfare.
Because they also lock the doors and don't let you leave until you have purchased something.
But it's the sale of the century.
It is.
Hey, welcome to Crate and Barrel. You can get this couch, normal retail value $7,400, today only for $7,395.
And guess what?
What?
I'm going for it.
Obviously.
I'm buzzing in for that.
You obviously have to.
I have 50 in my bank, and I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll figure it out. Mm-hmm.
We'll figure it out. Oh, and also I didn't mention on the sale of the century, the runners-up,
mm-hmm.
they get to take home their dollar amount.
So like $40?
Yep. That's what you get.
But in today's cash,
60
at least. At least.
They would be...
you put $40 in Amazon stock in 1980?
And
they're going to ask you, what's an Amazon stock?
You can't invest in the rainforest.
You go into the rainforest and there's just a whole bunch of dollar bills stapled to trees.
If you put $40 in Amazon stock in 1980, what you get is some undiscovered tribe's hut. And they're still undiscovered.
So you just have to trust. It's like buying a star. You just have to trust it's there and it's yours, but you don't have anything physical to show for it.
Right. And it means nothing. Because...
Well, it means a beautiful gesture that some people do for their loved ones.
But here's the thing. Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck do we think we are?
Yeah.
That we can just buy stars? We can buy the name. We can name a star. Why don't we consult with everybody else in the universe first? Why do we have this Earth-centric point of view that, us here on Earth, we get to name all the stars. This star that's 1 billion light years away, that probably has some aliens living next to it. We get to name it?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. And this answer's a little scary. We are the only life form available that is existing at this point. There is nobody else. It is a dark void outside of the Earth's atmosphere. And so this is just a way to pass time until, the sun burns out and everything dies on Earth.
Wow.
And then Mars gets populated and they're like, oh, what's that crazy rock? Oh, let's fly a spaceship to that. Oh man, what is this? A Pokemon card. Let's figure out what this means. This was probably a form of currency for this society.
Wow. So who are the people on Mars?
That's the next people in line to flourish.
Right. So life just starts on Mars? It just starts happening?
That's what happened on Earth.
Okay.
I think there are multiple life forms, but I don't think that our timelines intersect.
So you think that in the vast universe out there right now, like aliens have existed, but they just don't right now?
Right. Or they will exist after us.
But why?
What if we're the first aliens?
It's like Highlander. There can only be one.
At a time, yeah. Wait your turn for existence.
It's like, hey, can I exist right now? Hold on. There's some people a fucking 500 billion light years away that are busy existing right now in their little corner of this vast infinite universe.
Sure.
So let's just wait for them to do their thing.
Yeah.
You know how there's...
Well, actually what it is, can I exist yet? And they say, how many hot chicks are with you? And you say 12, and they're like, come on in.
Oh, so it's like a bouncer at a nightclub.
It's a VIP situation,
okay,
yeah.
That makes sense. You know how there was the Big Bang? Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
The liberal media would have you believe.
Right. Do you think, like, uptight Christians call it something different?
because they don't say bang.
Yeah.
the
The big boom.
the big love make.
The big
The big whoopee.
big love make. Okay, sorry, go ahead. You're saying
So, is there an opposite of that?
of what?
So they say,
Oh, Big Bang?
yeah, they say like, so there's a big bang.
It's a big
and
suck.
now, yeah, so now the universe is constantly expanding
Mm-hmm.
at, you know, a rapid rate of speed. Everything is flying further and further out. Is there like, are we going to get to a point where we're like, all right, we've hit the end and we all suck back in? And will we know when that's happening?
Yes. When we hit the end, we will get out of our boat. We will walk up the stairs.
So it's the Truman Show?
We will take a bow.
Uh-huh. The Truman Show?
And then we will open the door,
Truman Show,
which is just right there.
right.
And you leave. And then, yes, when you close the door, the big
Good
suck
afternoon,
happens.
good evening, and good night.
And good night. It's good day, good day, good day.
Oh, Reg. The Reg Show. I'd watch it.
Did you ever hear about how the Truman Show was much, much darker than what it was?
In what sense?
Like there's a rape.
What?
Truman is not in the actual like first rendition of the script. Truman is not a fun-loving person. It's more of a icky reality show than it is.
So like you're watching like The Sopranos instead.
how it's just
Like it's just
mean humans,
bad people. Like
Yes.
Truman is a bad person.
right?
Human
Well,
nature, actual human nature took over, and instead of him turning out to be a lovable, affable guy,
Right.
like 10% of people, he turned out like the other 90%.
He's a complicated human, not a goofy, high
And
spirited.
he raped?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a sex scene, but it's not. It's a graphic and not consensual situation.
So, but speaking of that, so Laura Linney,
Mhm.
she plays Truman's wife
Yes,
on the show, or on the movie,
mm-hmm.
but on the show.
But on the show also.
But on the show also. So, like, she was hired to go and fuck this guy for
right.
presumably eternity.
Correct.
There's a lot of moral implications to that movie that are kind of not explored that
Right.
deeply.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think?
I think it turned out much better.
Right, but like, do you think she liked the sex?
I don't know.
Also, if everything is broadcast, I feel like they didn't ever really clarify some aspects of everything.
Like what?
Like the sex or shower time or things like that.
So you just wanted to watch a porn?
No.
Okay.
I want to watch real life. Is real life a
Be
porn?
careful
Is porn real life?
Be careful what you ask for. Real life is mundane. Entertainment wouldn't be entertainment. It would be you're just watching somebody wipe incorrectly and you're like, "No, you."
But then isn't that the whole doesn't that remove the whole idea? Like the whole point is you're watching a real life happen. And once things start getting introduced that are not real, that manipulate that reality,
Mm-hmm.
then why aren't you just watching Days of Our Lives?
I don't have an answer for you.
Because they're called soap operas because they used
They
to
scrub your brain.
Be sponsored by like cleaning products for women. That's why they're called soap operas. Good day.
Fascinating.
It all comes full circle.
It does.
All you have to do is say good day,
Good day.
after anything,
And bring it
and then it's
right
full
back
circle.
to the sale of the
that's how it
century.
works. Yeah, so one of the favorite things that happened to me in my research on Sale of the Century
Mm-hmm.
was so it aired the original run, the 69 to 73 and 74 syndicated run. They basically don't exist anymore. Apparently, I think there's like 18 episodes in like the UCLA film library.
Okay.
But they're not freely available to anyone. You can't even find clips of them on YouTube or anything like that. You can find some audio recordings of the episodes, but not the video. The 83 to 89 Jim Perry version basically all exists. I think most of the reruns are from the, 84 to 86 or so. They did a syndicated run of that. I think most of the reruns that have aired on TV are from that. But the Game Show Network, I think, in the 2000s started airing some of the NBC episodes as well. And now Buzzer owns the rights to it, so it airs on the Buzzer Network.
Buzzr.
Buzzr. Or you can find it on, YouTube. And so I was on YouTube watching an episode, and sometimes you're on YouTube, you like to scroll through the comments, seeing what people say.
The underbelly of the internet.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to see, like, did this guy who won and decided to come back go on to later win one of the bigger prizes? Is that why this episode is on YouTube? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Scrolling through. When I got to a comment that I think really spoke to me, I'm going to read it to you in full.
Okay.
As a direct quote.
Is it an accidental Amazon review placed in the comment section of this?
Basically. Bezos again. It said, "When my parents were in the process of divorcing, I watched this at my mom's friend's house."
Mom's friend's house.
You know what? I didn't even think of it that deeply. I just thought, that's a sentence. Thank you for putting that out on the internet for the rest of us. When my parents were in the process of getting divorced, I watched this show at my mom's friend's house.
That is the entire comment.
That is the entire comment. That is the full context of that. Is that one time this guy's parents were getting divorced and they watched an episode of this show at their mom's friend's house. And oddly, when they left their mom's friend's house, their mom had $400 more than when they arrived at their mom's friend's house.
It's very strange. Yeah.
They went in the back to talk about something for about 45 minutes.
Right. And then his mom came out and her eyes were red and she had, a crack pipe.
What?
In her hand.
Wow. That was a good improv there. Solid.
Hey, what's that in your hand, friend? Cracks pipe?
It was a crack pipe. Yeah, I don't know. Something about that comment just really made me laugh.
That's really, really sad.
Right, that's why I laughed.
Yeah, it's so...
To stop myself from crying.
So dark.
Like that time that that kid with Down syndrome made all the 3-pointers for that high school basketball team.
Unbelievable.
I think that's the most emotional I've ever gotten.
He didn't really look like he had that much Down syndrome.
Wow. He had knock it down syndrome from the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I know what you're saying. Hold on, I got a email I need to focus on. It's from Myrtle A. Vinson.
Who's
and
that?
It says, "Can we meet in 20 minutes? Question mark, question mark, question mark, plus sign."
Is that the subject
No
line?
subject.
No, there's no subject line.
No subject.
And it just says that.
Mm-hmm.
Myrtle?
A. Vinson.
Where?
I don't know.
Should you reply?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you say?
Come get some, baby.
Wow. I think you should clarify where. Because
she didn't clarify where, so why I'm going to be sneaky too.
Why are you gendering them?
Myrtle?
Myrtle? Anybody could be a myrtle. Could be a turtle.
Could be a beach.
Exactly.
Wow. I didn't think about that.
So, do you have any ideas about making Sale of the Century a better show, aside from adding UFOs or UAPs to it?
I do have a joke that I wrote. Can I do that?
I guess.
Sure. So they gave away a $35,000 Cadillac.
Yeah.
In 1985. Or I don't know if they gave it away, but it was a prize.
It was it was the ultimate prize that for like $700.
That is equal to $86,000 today.
Wow.
Do you know? I'm going to tell you some cars that are worth $86,000 today.
Okay.
2021 Porsche Panamera.
Okay.
2021 Audi A8.
Wow.
And a 2020 McLaren GT.
Ooh.
Without its tires or engine. Because that's a $270,000 car.
Oh. So that's the joke?
Mm-hmm.
You should work on that more.
No, I think it's in its final form.
So just the body of a McLaren you can buy.
Make it betters. Bigger, bushier hair.
Bushier?
Bigger, bushier hair for female models.
You're struggling here.
I want to hear the ad lib the models are saying when displaying a prize. I want them to be mic'd.
Okay.
When he's talking on his giant briefcase phone.
Uh-huh.
And I think we should bring back the portable briefcase phone.
That is a good point. that is a very good point. I think...
guarantee you Gen Z would buy that. Guaranteed. They would have a cell phone that they would do their TikToks on. And then they would have their briefcase phone just purely for show.
Well, it's like a...
Because Gen Z doesn't make calls anymore.
Right. I think one of the funnier things to me was the female announcer of the 80s version of the show.
Yeah.
She would talk about some of the prizes and stuff like that. But also, I think my favorite part of it was, introduce the host, Jim Perry. He comes out. And then for some reason, in order to introduce the contestants on the show, she comes over and stands really close to him at the host podium. And he's like, "So who's on the show today?" And then she introduces them all while standing right there next to him, and then goes away, and we never see her again.
And then we get clarification on the random one sentence she read about the contestants.
Oh, hold on. Dorf Lauren is calling me right now.
Dorf Lauren?
DORFF Lauren.
Pick it up.
I can't. Because they're going to try and sell me something or something like that.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm in the mood to buy anything that
sales.
I perceive as a bargain.
Yes.
Dorf, you're not getting me this time.
Yeah.
Like the North Texas Food Bank got me with their monthly donation scheme.
Yeah, you idiot.
How do you sign up for a monthly donation? Why can't I just donate once?
Because they don't want that. They're money hungry because they're profit lords.
God, they are greedy. The North Texas Food Bank. Somebody needs to put a stop to them. Somebody needs to shut them down.
Right.
Where's Jeff Bezos when you need him?
Where's the South Texas Food Bank? How come they're not ever taking money?
Have you seen the new Bo Burnham special?
There's a new Bo Burnham special?
On Netflix.
No.
Called Inside.
He's not doing stand-up, is he? Because that's what made him real sad.
So it was entirely shot, directed, written, and edited in his home while in quarantine.
By Dorf Lauren?
By Dorf Lauren himself. Bo Burnham.
Okay, interesting.
It's kind of like a descent into madness in some ways.
Purposely, or you see this man break down?
A little bit of both.
Oh, no.
But it's entertaining.
Okay.
It's mesmerizing,
That's all that matters. Nobody cares if this person is breaking on the inside as long as I'm getting my
chuckles,
cotton candy for my eyeballs.
Hell yeah. Truman Show. It's the same thing. I want to see somebody struggling through some real shit.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Truman Show?
Yeah.
Man, it's so good.
It is quite good. Holds up. I wish there was a rape in it.
I was just about to say
other than that, it holds up. I think that would have made it a stronger 2021 film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sale of the Century, I like there were some, like, as we mentioned earlier, let's make a deal type elements. Like sometimes in the instant bargains, they would have, this prize is costs you $10 for an $800 value thing here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I'll give it to you for $6. I'll give it to you for $6 right now, or I'll throw in a couple $100 cash on top of it to really sweeten that pot and get him to take the deal. As you mentioned on that episode, you were talking about there was one woman who was in the lead for all 3 of the instant bargains. She took all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
She got that stereo system. She got a trip to New England. And something else also that seemed pretty cool.
Furniture?
I don't know, but it was over $5,000 in prizes. She ended up not winning the game because she spent like $20 of her money on all this and she lost by like $7. But the guy who won the game, he decided to come back next week or next episode, he's
Yeah.
probably going to lose and just walk away with his $70 or whatever.
Right.
She got over $5,000 in cash and prizes.
So who really wins?
Who's the real winner? I think we are at home for getting such an entertaining half hour.
Yeah,
We're the winners.
that's true.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you.
I would say that I would give this show a 3 buzzers out of 5.
A 3 buzzers.
3 buzzers because I think
Where did the 2 buzzer? What are the reasons it lost 2 buzzers from you? Buzzer.
2 buzzers. I would say that there's a kind of a lot going on in it, which can kind of be overwhelming for, I don't know, a normal person. If you think of like the long-lasting game shows like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, it's very straightforward. You know exactly what's happening every episode.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they kind of throw wrenches in you all willy-nilly. Wrenches in you? At you? I don't know.
No, I think it's in you.
Throw a wrench in the works, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But
you know what really grinds my gears? Wrenches in me.
That makes sense. So I think it was a good show. It's entertaining. I like that there's a lot of fun elements to it. There are a lot of trivia questions asked, which is always a plus for me because some of them were kind of challenging as well. But I enjoyed it. I just think for a general audience, it probably takes a bit of a hit with all the complications in it, and like there's really no like rhyme or reason. Like the instant bargains just happen.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we've got an instant bargain now.
Well, it's like double Jeopardy.
Yeah, but you like find that you know that there's one of those on the board in the first round, and you know that there's 2 of those on the board in the second round, and people are hunting for them. So it's kind of part of the game. Whereas this is like, do you happen to be in the lead randomly when something happens? You get the instant bargain.
A bell just happened, and you know what that means.
Yeah. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Well, for the same reason you took away 2 buzzers,
Okay.
I'm only going to take away 1.
Okay.
Because I'm not a cold-hearted chode choker
Sure.
like you.
Right. I've been through a lot, so
I
it's harder for me to feel happiness.
liked that the pace was so quick.
Very quick.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Something was constantly happening.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't too complicated to feel super overwhelming. It did
I'm going
for
up to
the first-
3.5.
It did for the
You've
first
talked
episode.
me into 3.5 buzzers.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot going on.
Right. It's kind of overwhelming.
But it's not complicated, so it only takes an episode or 2 to get
Right.
on board. And I really enjoyed that there was something constantly happening. The pace was quick. It didn't feel rushed. It just felt engaging. So I'm going to give it 4 buzzers.
All right.
Out of 5.
Yep, that's our scale.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think pretty solid show. Seek it out if it sounds interesting. If you're into
Only on YouTube.
If you're interested in deal making, deal breaking,
Look, here's the thing.
budgie smuggling,
We're never going to get deals like this that aren't on this show. You're never going to see something that had a retail price of $1,000 marked down to 6.
that's true.
So if you want a good deal,
That's
or
true.
you'd like to experience
If
that,
you would like a trip to New England for $15,
that doesn't include some sort of human trafficking situation.
right? Which I mean, that is the one downside is it doesn't include any human trafficking,
Right.
But otherwise, the sale of the century is tough to beat
You're
because it's the sale of the century.
not ever going to beat it.
By name, you're not going to get a better sale than this.
Or the sale of the new century.
Exactly. The millennium.
Millennium.
All right. We are done with another episode of Come On Down, the game show podcast, hosted by me, John Baker.
And me, an unidentified aeronautical fat.
You were close.
That's so close.
So close. We will see you guys next time.